has changed, and now what we all do is absolutely part of it. It's normal. It's part of the normal thing. It's not really out on the fringes anymore. So that's the biggest positive change to me is this is now just this track, this panel has really made it to it's arrived, if you will.
And what are you looking forward to this weekend?
I just like DragonCon's a blast. I get to see a lot of friends I made here over the past 2 decades, and a lot of fans have become friends, and fans who will eventually become friends, and just exposing my work to new readers. I'm big into exposing myself.
Yeah, I see you chose your words right, and then you changed it.
Yeah, and that this is the most fun, and as someone who's not a cosplayer, getting to watch the Super Bowl of cosplay ongoing is just always amazing to me.
Gotcha. Justin, you said you've only been a few times officially.
Yeah, I will say a change that I've noticed sort of in cons overall and in culture and community and stuff. It seems like you see kind of less siloing between different fandoms, which is really cool. I feel like you used to see a lot more deliberate, we like this over here, we like that over there. And I think as people come together more and kind of hang out, it feels more like a celebration of like enthusiasm and just loving stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see like some of those walls come down and people just kind of like enjoy loving things together. It's really cool.
Yeah, I know we've got the entire crew of my brother and me here this week. And while you're doing some of your major big shows, which is awesome and we love it, you actually have all plugged into different panels and getting on the different things you love talking about.
And that's honestly, as a creator, for me, that's super important. I live in West Virginia, and I don't have other creators like in proximity, physically that are doing what I'm doing. I mean, in Ohio, but that's an entirely different state. And it doesn't count if I taught you everything you know about podcasting. What am I going to learn from somebody that I taught everything to? Dad? You're a blank canvas on which I painted my masterpiece, but I can't draw insight back from it, from the well. No, but that is so cool for me because that is kind of like I feel kind of closed off from other creators sometimes, especially as social media has become so much less useful in the past few years.
Well, you don't go to Chat GPT and get all your information?
No, I just prefer to be ignorant.
Now, Clint, when you first came, we were actually set up with the stage on that wall, and we had some like coffee table things, and you've been a few times. What's something you've seen?
Incorrect.
Huh?
That's cool.
The first time I came here, and
don't fact check me on my panel.
Justin doesn't
love this energy.
either.
Sorry about my language. I love this energy. That correcting people is one of my favorites. Again, I want to
Actually,
I cannot leave.
It's
I am
not
stuck here
one
with
of
him.
your favorites, Justin. I hate to correct you, but the first time I came to Dragon Con, it was in an airport hotel.
Okay.
Because Gil Kane was there and was signing books.
Did he kill Abel first, or
No.
Okay?
What year was this, Dad?
Let's see. You were probably 3 or 4.
What?
Yeah. It was on a trip back from the beach.
Wow, amazing. At Dragon Con.
Yes, it was Dragon Con.
That's amazing, Tay. You're so old. I forget. I think because I taught you everything, I sometimes think of you as my protege, and I forget you're advancing years.
We rode in on dinosaurs. It was great. But no, the first time I did this panel, you're absolutely. I was thinking that when I walked in because I thought, well, I mean, there were almost as many people on the panel as were watching the panel, and to see the growth and the acceptance and how much interest it is. Or that may be just because Justin's here. But that's pretty cool.
What's something you're looking forward to this weekend?
Let's see. Going to the varsity. Not getting COVID.
Yeah, right. That's the plan.
Amongst our goals.
Yeah.
No, just kind of meeting folks, and I love meeting the people that consume the stuff that we create. So,
yeah, it's awesome.
like Soylent Green.
Top that out.
Well, just for looking forward to, or like changes that we've seen, because I'll try, but probably not going to happen. I'll do my best though. One of the things that I absolutely have loved since getting here is watching the digital media track specifically open up these panels to everyone who is not here by streaming stuff, by putting things online, by expanding the audience to other people. It's just something that not all of the tracks here do. So it's super awesome that they've done this here and really embodied that digital media sort of aspect of it. So
Awesome.
yeah.
I am not sure if we're actually streaming right now because we're still working on things, but that's the.
Yes, you are.
That's okay. Cool.
Birds, they cut the feeds. They don't
Yeah.
Shut it
Yeah,
down.
yeah, shut it all down. And then what I'm looking forward to most, because I got one, I'm looking forward to kicking Scott Sigler's butt at Blood Feud.
Oh, shit.
Wait.
You have
Wait.
3 members of the opposing team on this panel. It's on, baby. It's on.
Hey, I'm on Scott's
kicking
team.
We are.
We are. That's right. We are.
You and Scott are on the same team, baby.
So anyways, vote for me, not them.
All right.
Let's gosh darn go.
Jenna, what's keeping you chill?
Everything keeps me chill.
Yeah.
I was really excited because I was shut up. Because I was like, I have been coming here the longest out of anybody on this panel. Yay. No, dang you. Dang you,
Yeah,
sir.
sorry.
Sir, dang you. Because I've been coming here for 25 years. It used to be 2 days, and that was crazy to see it go to 3 and then 4 and then a whole week. That's been fun. Seeing this space be so open to creators playing with each other and being playful with shut up and being playful with people who want to join the space has been just fun and rewarding and I don't know, I've just really enjoyed getting to open up to everybody here and be a part of the Digital Media Track family. And gosh, I don't know what's
What are you looking forward
what am I
to?
looking forward to? Beating Alex's booty.
No way.
Heckin' stomp in a mud hole.
So,
Hacking, stomping, a mud hole. That's some of the best poo talk I've ever heard.
Exactly.
Also, we got a chair to soak it up front.
yeah, we got a chair. We got 2 right here. Is the question mic on? I was just asking if the question mic's on. So if anybody has a question you'd like to ask, we do have a microphone. And we don't have a microphone.
I won't hear it.
That sucks. That happens. That's how things work sometimes. It's all good.
My favorite bird is a roseate spoonbill. They're amazing. Actually, I have a beautiful art piece that Alex made, not for me, but I did steal it from her.
I was gonna throw it out, you guys, and she took it from the garbage.
Good morning, DragonCon.
All right. There you go.
Charles, what
All
keeps
right.
you chill and what are you looking forward to and what has changed?
Everything changes every year, man. Everything changes. So we do a panel at the very end of the con called Like and Subscribe. It's the wrap-up panel that we just sit in here and we talk about what went well and what we'd like to see improve next year. And so it just has gone from my very first year. The kickoff panel had Brian Ibbett and Brushwood and some other people. You remember up in 212, yeah. And Mark Gunn, I think, was on it. And it was a room that held like 50 people, 60 people. And to me, it's huge names, right? These guys I've been listening to and following for years were sitting up there. And I mean, it has grown to where we now own this room and that room behind us. So we can do 2 separate panels to about 200 people each. And we take over, they joke about how we take over the crystal ball room a lot. And honestly, we used to do the kickoffs at 10 a.m. I had to change that because I don't want to do anything at 10 a.m. On the morning of. But we'd have 4 people come out on a Friday on 10. Now it's Thursday afternoon, and all of you called out sick for tomorrow, and I will sign off on your waivers on that. You will have a sick leave for me. And that's and then I'm looking forward to, man, just seeing the magic happen. Honestly, opening up the doors. I met Jenna through here. I met actually.
Atlanta Comic-Con.
Oh, that's right. I
That's not my dad. I'm not accountable for that.
look. This is the internet. We don't have to have facts, people. Stop fact checking me. I hate it. So you're right. That was Atlanta Comic-Con because we were doing something with a network. I met Alex through here. Okay.
I fact checked you. You can say whatever.
Clint and I used to be bowling buddies back in the 60s, so that's where we met.
Augie's Deli. Augie's Deli. We were on the bowl. We're lying. That's
But I got to meet the wonderful McElroys throughout the years here. And Scott, I met through stalking you on the internet because you put out your first book by reading it chapter by chapter in podcast form. And then me not knowing any kind of etiquette to any of this, I was just like, hey, you do openings for your show. Can I do the opening for your show? It's like, no, but you knew this other thing. It was some other thing I forget. And
It's so long. ago,
Yeah,
I
it's-
don't know.
that really was
A
sort
lot of meth between them. Fuzzy.
that really was about 20 years ago.
It was
20
years ago, yeah. It's when we started podcasting on Earthcore about 20
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I did something for Earth Core is what it was. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward just to seeing the new faces. Who's going to step up next? I'll use an example. Alex was coming and attending and having fun. And then somebody said, hey, you should maybe try to be on a panel. And they brought you. You didn't say that? No, you didn't bring her in? Okay. Somebody nice and likes Alex said you should be on a panel. And say with Jenna. So what I said, she runs for the con. There was one day where
He does mean literally.
was it Awesome Women of Digital Media?
Yeah.
And so she was leaving for the day up at MARTA, which if you're not familiar is 5,000 miles up that steep mountain
It wasn't
up towards the
Peach
west
Street.
end. It was, yeah, it's 2 blocks up, but it feels like forever. And somebody dropped out, something happened. And I happened to text her, it's like, hey, I think this would be a great panel for you. If you'd like to be on it, I'll be right there. And I had no idea she was leaving for the island. And she ran all the way downhill, came and jumped on the panel. And ever since then, I've been using you for moderation, and you brought a bunch of panels and cool stuff. And that's really what I look forward to. Who's the new face? Who's the new person I want to meet and open up a door? And I remember sitting here, man, it was, I cannot tell you how many years ago, but it was every year there's something going on in our society, right? That as much as Dragon Con tries to keep it out, it works its way in. And there was a lot of talk about privilege that year, a lot. And so I said at the end of it, it's like, let me hold the door open. And since then, we've gotten such diverse such diverse programming of how to survive the con with neurodiversity, blurred panels. What's some of the ones you've thrown out? Basically, the whole point is, sorry to put you on the spot, but the whole point is we've opened the door for anybody who wants to see themselves represented can be that representation they want to be on the panel. And it is I just wait for who's coming next, who's going to be the next person in. So anybody step up anytime. We're gonna keep talking because that's what we do. We podcast, we talk. Jen, what's one of the most intimidating things for you at Dragon Con?
Okay, it's really hard for Dragon Con to be intimidating when you've been coming since you were 12. Because you just get engrossed and immersed in it, and you're like, oh yeah, this is just part of life, right? Like you go and you meet celebrities, and that's what you do, isn't it? But I think probably the first time that Charles asked me to moderate a panel, I was like, oh, you want me to ask questions to the people who do the thing that I want to be doing? Is that what you want me to do? Are you sure? You want me to ask the questions? No, I don't know questions. They've left my mind. So that first year that I moderated was I was a mess, and I wore a shirt that had a word on it that Scott would say that I probably shouldn't. And Charles was like, "Can you change? Do you have a shirt you can wear that is not that shirt?" And I was like, "No, I don't. Is that bad?" And he was like, "Sit below the table."
So you wrote a book, but you brought a notebook, and I remember you over prepped for that so much. You had 20 questions. I think you asked 3.
I didn't know. No, I asked a lot of the questions that were in my book.
So that's not the same one I'm thinking of then. Because there's one where you told me, man, I prepared and I didn't need it. It just went well.
That first one I did. I do a lot of research when I'm moderating a panel, a lot. If you're on a panel that I'm on, I'm gonna look you up, and you're basically gonna be real embarrassed if you find any of the things that I have found about you. Because it is written down in a notebook in my office, just So Scott, I think you have a notebook in my office. Charles, I know you do.
What, just
Um,
one notebook? Jesus, I gotta step up my game.
That
Yeah,
notebook,
right?
that notebook is squishy, sir.
Oh, Chris.
It's literally titled Squishy because that's how I describe his books.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's too fair. But I take a lot of notes and I try to make sure that I have a lot of things that I can pivot to in case somebody brings something up that I think people should hear about. Like, I want to know what you want to talk about, and I want you to know that I know what you want to talk about.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Alex, I cannot remember if we've had you moderate anything, but I know you bring the Pungeon.
Yes, the Questmaster show. So I've moderated a few things, did an Animorphs panel, that kind of thing. So, we've done a few, but yeah, the Questmaster panel is a lot of fun. As you guys know, D&D shows live are hard. So we also make them do sports on top of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We added cornhole to one of our live
You know
shows.
what?
That was fun.
Brilliant move.
I can see why people, like sports. Like, it's very exciting, honestly. People on stage throwing stuff at holes. I got it. For the first time, honestly, I was like, okay, these two great tastes that taste great together. All right. I mean, I had my fill of it there. I didn't look at others. That was it. But like, wow, I got it.
I too can see why people like sports.
Can you, football boy?
Does it really count when it's the Lions? Sorry.
Oh.
My favorite bird's Philadelphia
All
bird.
That's
So.
a great joke. After last year, though, not such a great joke. But this year, probably a good joke.
We're in Atlanta. It's Falcons territory, sir. It's fine.
Yeah, we don't win
Favorite
anything.
Silent?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because we started talking about the birds again.
Oh
The
no.
covers. All right, got your question. Wait, first off, did you give blood today? Look at you. Did you do the online schedule? Did you do the online schedule? Okay, because if you do an appointment online, they give you a special patch and a pin along with the shirt this
If you
year.
don't mind me asking, did you get out a snack afterwards, or because usually they make you take a snack after you do the blood donation?
Yeah, I had a snack. Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So what I
Oh man, I really want to know what snack, but go ahead.
That's not you want to know what was the snack, sir.
Oh,
Yes.
All right. I'm more into the hardware and technology side of things. So, like, what was your first recording? So, what was? I'd like to hear about your first recording setup.
Oh, gosh.
Like, your latest hardware purchases.
You want first or last?
latest or first, whichever you
You
want.
guys mind if I jump into this one? First recording setup was going into where I worked at 3 o'clock in the morning to record a podcast because we had a recording studio there way back in 2005. I couldn't tell you what any of that gear was. My first setup was a Flower Power iMac way back then, which I kept in my closet in San Francisco because that had a hanging clothes and no idea what the mic was. And now, 2 decades later, that has turned into, right now, it's an Apollo X8 with a couple of different mics and lights for streaming and the whole completely different rig. So it's gone from having no idea to what I'm doing with one small Mac to having no idea what I'm doing with like $10,000 worth of gear. So it's
Finally out of the closet.
that happened a long time ago, bro. Jesus.
What about Clint? I mean, you came from radio, and Justin, you
Yes.
said you taught him everything he knows. So
yeah. Now, what was your original recording setup?
Okay, let me explain something to you about the technical side of podcasting. I am so bad at it, they had to hire a guy to come in and rewire my studio.
He keeps messing with me. Our first setup was I had a headset microphone running into USB.
all right, yeah.
Then for about 6 months, I used the Rock Band microphone. Remember the USB with the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For a little bit. And then for a while, I used a Samson CO1U that was a USB mic. And now we all use a microphone called the CAD E100S that I started using about 7 years ago, and they don't make anymore. And They're really hard, and I'm not superstitious about anything except for these microphones, because if one of them dies, I don't know what to do.
Oh, no.
We all use the same microphones to make it sound like
Right, right.
But that's what we're grinding on right now.
Oh, I thought of something.
Okay.
Roadcaster. I use it.
Yes.
With Roadcaster
All right.
on it.
That's great, Dad. Good job, man. Headphones too. Don't tell me about the headphones.
And I have headphones.
Oh, we're using the
Cancel
road
noise.
Alice, what'd you start with?
Okay, I'm going to admit right now that I'm doing a podcast here later about how to produce show here about how to produce podcasts, and I have avoided telling my AV guy what I started with for this entire time. So it was a blue snowball. I'm so
Nice.
sorry.
We all have a snowball face.
No, no. The Yetis and the snowballs. I had an eyeball.
Snowballs were terrible.
They were not. They anywhere. Don't listen to the grumpy old man. Listen to this. Wherever you start is where you need to be.
Yeah.
It will work.
Welcome back.
There you go.
Yeah,
So-
well, I've avoided saying that for I think 3 months now that we've been planning it. So finally out. But now I do
I'm learning.
the Procaster and the Rode stuff too. So that's what I use now.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've been saying that I've been podcasting for about a decade. I think my first podcast was in 2008, and we had a Zoom H2, I think,
Yeah,
with
nice.
two
All right.
connections plugged just directly into it.
Yep.
And then, which honestly, it didn't sound bad, but we also didn't edit it. That was terrible. And then now we all use Roadcasters with Rode Pod mics in it.
Okay, cool.
We're using the road pod mic now too.
Yeah, it's good.
It's okay
It's,
as long as you don't bump the table.
oh yeah, it catches everything.
I don't know if this is actual advice, but I've changed my rationale about this over the years of doing it. Is I only record pretty much in the studio by myself, and I realized at a certain point that I had the full board, that full Rode Procaster, and I realized that I had actually gone a little bit too much equipment for what I needed to do. It was actually getting in my way more often than it was just like I just needed plug it into the computer and talk into it. That's really all I needed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went from the Zoom to a Bearing with a H4n, and then I went into a giant Mackie Pro FX V12 or something like that. You don't need that. You don't need that. I was being stupid, but that was my hubris talking.
It's huge diminishing returns too. I mean, get 80% of the way there with $100, and then worry about the last 20%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's down the road.
And if you've already bought it on, wherever you bought it from, sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
You
We
don't
also
need
use
it.
our whole setup is used to record full length audiobooks too. So it's basically everything's now dialed in, podcasting, streaming, audiobooks, all exactly the same setup. So we don't have to think about anyways, turn it on and go.
If you're gonna spend your money, if you're gonna spend money, spend it on sound dampening.
That's a good suggestion. And actually, you don't even have to spend money on that. You can go to Temu and get the
Yeah.
penny ones, and they do
Don't do that.
they do okay.
Don't do Timu.
Your house will burn down. Books.
Yeah, because they're multi-layered.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fill a room full
Yeah.
of books. Get
Yeah.
sound in.
Yeah.
If you get super really bored, you can read one.
And you know what works really good?
Standing right here, bro. Jesus.
Do you know what works really weirdly good too? Plants.
Anything that has a non-reflective surface, yeah.
Yeah.
The dead ones count?
Dead plants.
No, please. Stop. No.
So
In a pinch, then scoop my whole thing into a closet.
Oh, yeah.
In the closet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the clothes around it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
You
so
want to go next level with the books, you put them pages out, not spine out, because that's more regular surfaces.
Mhm.
But if you are ADD at all, it's going to drive you absolutely crazy. So beware.
I had a band when I first discovered podcasting in 2004, and so I had microphones like this. I had soundboards. I had a computer to record on, and it was overkill. And I've progressed through the years. I've had some friends give me some nice stuff. I've got an IL PR40 that I use as my microphone, and really, I just use. I have a little Rodecaster that I record through. At one point in my career, I was every year or so buying a new board just to see what it do with the effects and different things. And honestly, you just get whatever will get you into the computer. And I actually have a 4K camera that I don't even use to stream with anymore. I have a M1 chip MacBook that I bought 3 years ago that I like how it frames and does the lighting better than my 4K. So I've downsized and made it easier. So you just do what you do.
No.
We do have another question up here.
Hi, everybody. I have a question for Scott. When it comes to you choosing what you want to write your next book about, what is that process? Like, how are you sure what to move on when it comes to your creativity? Like, how do you dive into what you're going to choose?
Well, when I'm not stuck writing a series, right now I'm writing 3 series simultaneously, which I do not recommend to anyone ever for any reason whatsoever. It's a huge decision because that's probably 2 years of your life amongst the other things that you're doing. And that's for someone who writes full time. If you're not full time with first draft, second draft, trying to take it out to market, that could wind up being like 3 years of your life. So it's a very stressful decision at all times for you to write. And you tend to get torn between, here's where I think I have all these ideas, here's where I think the market is going, and I want to try with my ideas writing to the market. Just blindly writing to the market is a horrible idea. Never do. Vampire books are big. I'm going to write one. Don't do that. But if one of your ideas has to be something with where the market is trending, you pay closer attention to that. But I think the biggest thing is considering the time commitment you have to put in, and this time you'll never get back. You pick the one that just flat out excites you the most. What is, out of your ideas, what is the book you most want to read? You write that one because that excitement is going to fuel you through the laborious process of doing it. If you're fortunate enough to have an agent, though, you talk to your agent. Like, I've got these things I want to do. Which one do you think is best suited that you can sell the best? So I'd say between those two, if you have an agent, work with them, figure out which one they're most excited about, and you write that to try and get a sale. But if you're doing your own work, putting it out on Kindle or ECX or anything like that, pick the one that you're just flat out just the most pumped about, because that always comes through in the prose, in the book, when you are just gosh darn excited. How's that?
Yeah, it works.
When you're gosh darn excited about the book and you can't wait to get at it, that makes the words leap off the page, or the words leap into your ear. So just trust your gut. You got into this for a reason, because you want to tell stories. Tell the story you want to tell. Does that help?
It does. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And then
I think the same thing applies to podcasting
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who listens to you is going to know if you're enthusiastic about what you're talking about or interested in what you're talking about. And I could fake it because I'm basically really dishonest, but I could.
Broken, I think is what the doctor said.
Broken is what the doc said, yeah. But if you bring that enthusiasm and you're doing what you love to talk about, it enhances the quality.
And then you can get a stalker who makes a notebook on you, and you stretch your memoirs from that. It's awesome.
This is a recurring theme with you people.
But if
I prefer the term documentarian.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It's like I chose the one profession that you want people to find you all the time, everywhere. It's crazy.
My question is for Clint and Justin. Yeah. What's the most stressful thing for you about DragonCon?
I don't do great with big crowds of folks, if I'm being honest. It's not my favorite. DragonCon is actually pretty good on the spacing. Actually, the human spacing at DragonCon so far has been really, really nice. So that is a little bit stressful for me. Sometimes when I'm in the middle of the show floor, I don't know which way it is back to the hotel, and I feel like a lost little boy. I don't know where the bathrooms are, the food is, and I want to lay down and cry until somebody finds me, but I don't. I pick myself up and walk in a direction and call a lift to where I was trying to get to in the first place. So mainly the crowds and the show floor is what really freaks me out. Other than that, though, I'm wild about it.
I have a new thing today in the fact that I tried to do valet parking today. Yeah, and
How did you mess up?
well, I
It's
almost ran
defined my
over.
service.
I almost ran over a Sailor Moon today. Because the people they're excited. They're going to Dragon Con. They can't wait to get involved. And those big metal vehicles on the four tires, no concept of what they are or what they mean to our society, and would not get out of the way. So,
But you almost interfered with her rendezvous with Tuxedo
That's
Mask.
right. That's right. She's got a lot. This is a pretty guardian, man. You can't mess around.
Exactly.
oh, and not in this town. So I'm going to just leave the car in the valet parking and walk to the car.
This is the day that Clinton became a flat mooner.
So that was great. And that is something to bring attention to is lines are going to be everywhere throughout this con. You're going to be asked to wait in different lines. Please make sure doorways and roadways and are open so people can come in and out. Yeah. So, all right. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, Clint, I am a huge fan of Sailor Moon, so I will never forgive you for this.
Well, that's why I never wants to make friends. Well, if I had run over her, I'd understand that philosophy.
Right.
I missed her by about 7 inches.
No, I never ask questions. But
Only
Is that
statements.
a question?
That's
Only
the only
statements.
statement.
You didn't ask a question.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Scott knows exactly why I said that. So just a general question for everybody. How would you describe the role that fans have played in carrying you in your career?
I wouldn't have the amazing life that I have if it weren't for fans. And that's 100% from the bottom of my heart. That is, I worked in radio for 47 years. 47 years, man and boy. And it wasn't until we started doing the Adventure Zone and started working on the graphic novels and going around doing the live shows and going to cons. If it wasn't for the people that consume that product that I am so honored to be a part of, I wouldn't get to travel all around the world with my family and make memories and get to meet all kinds of new folks and stand up in front of crowds and they cheer for you. Come on, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So if it weren't for fans, I wouldn't have any.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't have the career I have without fans because I started giving away all of my podcasts as free serialized novels and did 4 of them before I got signed. And it was because of the audience I generated by giving everything away for free every Sunday for years on end that I had a big enough audience that when we put out an indie book, it went to #1 in horror and sci-fi on Amazon. And that's what wound up getting me the print deal that got me sort of to go full-time to the next level. So I'm pretty confident I would have got to that level at some point, but I'd also been trying for 12 years unsuccessfully at that time. And without my podcast audience and the fans of my work from the podcast, I don't think I would be anywhere where I'm near where I'm at today. Also, the longevity is the biggest thing. Like my fan base that I've developed from the podcast has been there for 20 years and continues to buy everything that I put out. So as writer careers ebb and flow, and people sometimes get a big peak, get a big push, and then eventually they drop off to the mid-list area, we're kind of steadily above the mid-list area due to the fact that people hear my voice every single week and like the story. So the fans are the reason I get to be up here with these gentlemen right now.
Ladies?
Yeah, I mean, obviously none of us would be up here if it weren't for people who want to consume our media, but also it has given me in particular the opportunity to like step up and be more responsible. Sometimes you have these moments where you're people in your Discord or people who are online talking about your stuff are having this moment where they connect with it so deeply and you're like, whoa, I did that. What? And then you have to like be there in the moment with them and understand why they connect with it and understand that you created this thing that elicited this emotional response in them. And how did you do that? Like, why did you do that? Right? So it's been a really cool thing to like be able to have this grown up cerebral moment of people are connecting with my thing. amazing.
My heart really goes out to people who are sort of super project driven and super driven by what the next job is going to be and what the next thing is going to be for them and trying to find the next thing, because we've been so fortunate to, a lot like Scott said, a little bit feeling like we're kind of on the outside of things, watching things go up and down, and we've been so fortunate to have people who have sustained us through all of that. And I don't, I really see my purpose as like making the people who listen to our stuff happy. I don't see it as what like other things I'm gonna make, or like do I want to make another podcast or another TV show or whatever. It's like what can I do to make the people, to bring joy to the people that have put food on my plate, my kids' plate, clothes on their back. Like how can I bring them joy? And that is more than a career, it's purpose. And that's been everything.
Well, he said, I mean, that's, I always have one fan. I met him 8 shows into my first podcast.
Hang in there, though.
Yeah, I'll get
The
there.
second fan.
You'll get
Yeah,
there.
I'll get there. But 2004, everybody was describing podcasting as downloadable radio, and nobody really knew what it was. Right? It was great. And
Podcasting, still a bad name. 20 years.
yeah, it really is. And I had nobody around me I could talk to about anything. I felt like, so I'm like, I'm gonna talk to this microphone. Somebody out there will get it, and I figured they'd give me some help. And it was like episode 7. I think I read it on episode 8. This stranger wrote in and said, the way you talked about how you dealt with your family and what you had to do, blah blah blah, that really helped me. And that's when it clicked. It's like I don't really care about the numbers. If I can get somebody to say, like you said, with the joy, it's like, I want you to be peaceful, happy, de-stress, whatever it is. If I can help with that, I will. And everybody else that listens to my show are hecklers, and that's all I get is just heckled all the time. So, thank you. That's great.
Alex. Oh, you want-
Yeah, I want.
Yeah, while we transition,
Oh,
finish
gosh.
it up.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm one of those nightmares that is project driven, so sorry. No, but so for me, I love just creating stuff, and so it is very cool. I'm usually heads down in like what we're making, what's coming next, how do we make it better. So we actually do like come up for air a little bit, and then people are like, I miss comments online almost all the time. So every once in a while, I'll catch one where they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I love that show," or if you guys listen to Horse Girls, Sugarfoot killed Mrs. Bell, and that's the most rewarding thing is when you connect with somebody over a children's book that was written like decades ago, and they're like,
Yeah.
that's super like weird and niche and cool, and I like it. It's just a fun moment to have with people that maybe weren't into it, or just like we're following you because they like the way that you talk or whatever. You say funny words like project and project.
Project.
You say word good.
You say words weird.
We got another question?
My question is for Justin, but also for anybody who.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
Well, I
Swipe right. It's fine.
With Justin's background with Bim Bam and all these other projects, and my question is, when you were getting started specifically with Bim Bam, how did you manage producing that show with your brothers while working a full-time job in your first career, and how did that change throughout the course of specifically my brother and me, but also now all of the projects that you've sort of transitioned into doing full time?
Yeah, it's a terrifying thing. It always feels like you're doing 2 things at once until that becomes like unsustainable, or 3 or 4 or 5 things at once. Like when I started podcasting, I was a full-time news editor at the Ironton Tribune. So I was doing that like as my full-time gig, and then podcasting on the weekends while I was freelance writing and doing other stuff. And it just got to a point where the podcasting got to be enough of my job that I couldn't keep doing 2 jobs. But even then, it's still, I don't know, if I was approaching it now in this day and age, I probably would have kept doing both of the jobs, honestly, because that seems to be, I feel like that kind of bifurcation and diversifying this kind of stuff that you're doing is a much smarter path these days than kind of like picking one thing and going with it. But yeah, it was unnerving at first. Like it was really hard to balance like what little free time you have when you have a full-time job or a family or whatever with that sort of thing. For me, the work that I was doing outside of my day-to-day job was what I loved doing. Like that was my as close as I had to a hobby. Like that was my hobby. That's what I like. I like to talk to my brothers and play video games, write about video games. So for me, like it really was about passion when I was pursuing that stuff outside of work, which didn't make it feel like work. Definitely. But I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
That was kind of the line I had to walk. But yeah, it's always I think really really tricky, and I don't ever think when people look at me and say I don't know when the right time is to sort of like give up my day job or not. I think it's different for everybody.
Well, would you say the scariest part would be the day job being the known? You know how much you're going to make. You know whatever you put in, you'll get back from. Jumping from that to the unknown of, well, they like me today, but maybe the next thing I do they don't like.
I mean, I was a newspaper reporter, so I was Jan.
Oh, okay, wow, that's it. Okay.
I'm a frying pan into a bigger, more tech-savvy frying pan.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you.
So I'd like to know what your opinion is as creators of AI and
Well, that's a big question.
what tools you might be using, AI tools you might be using, and how would you be using them?
Like the general opinion of AI or any particular area you're asking about? General area AI right now, I think it's useful as a pretty good search engine. It can save me time in researching things. It's already causing an enormous amount of problems in the creative space and will continue to cause a lot of problems. I can guarantee you that within 3 years, 5 years at the latest, Amazon and Audible are going to start doing fully AI generated work. And since they control the distribution, they control all the marketing, they control the marketplace, it's going to be very sad to watch a completely AI created avatar based author that they can do A/B testing on and put out different books and see what the response is. They can measure the readership rate, they can measure the speed of reading. They're going to be able to tweak this stuff, and that's going to take a lot of money out of the marketplace for people who are actually working to do it. So that is the dark side of the creative space, at least where I am in storytelling and novel writing. So that part is very bad. As far as generating some form of like personal creative assistant to be able to do some things that you could not afford, you couldn't come up with a full-time job to pay someone to do just these little things that are popping up. Some of that stuff can be beneficial, but overall it's going to wind up being a net negative, I think, on the creative space. And that's just in the words. In the graphic space, I really couldn't speak to that, but I think graphic artists are just going to get kicked in the ding-ding by this stuff. Because even people I know who are fully aware AI is taking work away from other people are still using it a bunch because it's convenient and you get multiple repetitions and things like that. So that there's a weird space where people couldn't afford a graphic artist, but they can do AI. So is that taking work away from graphic artists? Right now, it's kind of like this, but the more work that is done with AI for the graphic artists, the less work there is for graphic artists.
Yeah, I've never used it. I don't know. I feel like I should. I don't know. I've never figured out how to use it. I don't know how people are getting to ChatGPT. I legitimately don't know how.
So you said a more tech-savvy frying pan.
Well, yeah, but that was 20 years ago. I
You know that black char in the frying pan?
That's it.
I'm a seasoned man and no, I never use. I don't use. We haven't used. We're trying to be super diligent about any sort of generative AI because I don't know. We make art and it feels bad to do that. But in terms of my own personal self, I have not. I don't know how.
Fair enough. Y'all have strong
That's
opinions?
still your answer.
No, I'm with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my degree is in illustration. So I don't think that you should be using. I don't think it's a good, like AI should have been used to take away the mundane things that humans do not need to do. It never should have replaced a creative human voice. And I know people that are comic artists, that are creators, like we are all creative people. We're up here because we make things that resonate with people. And the fact that they're trying to take that away and use AI to replace that sort of thing, that is really unethical and wrong. And shout out to my comic book friends, bsideucomic.com, Dungeons and Dragoons, people that are putting their life's work into something, their passion, their joy, and creating something incredible. Why are we looking at AI to do that? That's ridiculous.
Our illustrator on the graphic novels, on the Taz graphic novel, Scary Beach, she traded like 8 years of her life. I mean, her hands are not the same hands she started the
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a titanic thing she's done. And like the fact that anybody would take away from that with like, computers, what have you, it's heartbreaking. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's not we who are asking for that and doing it. It is Fortune 500 companies and big corporations. That's because they see this vision where they have to pay pennies on the dollar of what they already don't want to pay people, which is peanuts for the hours that are put in. It's nothing but greed. And I'm sure in the sciences, maybe there's a lot of application for it and valuable things, but in the creative space, it's nothing more than the people who want to sell things don't want to pay people to make the things that they sell. That's what it really comes down to.
Tale as old as time.
Those people are the ones that make a lot of decisions about what gets made, what gets put out there. If you've ever sat in on a meeting with studio people, they aren't creative, okay? And they don't understand. I mean, we've had a lot of meetings, folks. They don't understand it. We once got asked, so how does magic work? Magically. But those people making those decisions about what gets put on streaming networks or what gets a lot of the time in the big media is now I'm big bad talking big media.
Yeah, good job, Dad. Thank you. Let's burn all those bridges. Not that we had it to begin with, but I will say also, I think that we're headed towards a future where these sort of untraditional models that you see in the digital media track, like those more of like a patronage style model where you're supporting artists because you want them to make more of the art they're making.
Yeah.
I think we're headed towards a future where that is like the only sustainable model. For
Yeah,
honestly.
You know, I was a musician in the days of Napster. And I took that first day. So I was like, I wasn't a big musician, but well, if I get to big money, I won't want you stealing my CDs. And we had to work through all of that, right? And what happened was a lot of things that were pushing people into that didn't stop. There's always going to be people who are going to do that, right? There's always going to be people that take the easy way out. But the things that were kind of forcing that flow into there got changed by other people in the industry, by musicians and artists and different things like that. And so now I just see this as a disruptor to the industry. It absolutely takes out all the mundane. When I ran an ambulance company and had to have a handbook that had to tell people as adults not to do things that you shouldn't have to tell adults not to do, I don't have 5 hours in a day to go make sure I get my wording right, research things. I went to ChatGPT, said, give me something along these lines that would be a handbook thing. And then we had an HR department. I could just email it over and they said, yep, this is good. Took out all that mundane. For my creativity, I do this almost daily thing on TikTok called caffeinations, where I'll take a quote and I'll change it to be about coffee and then tell you what I'm really getting out of it. And I could do that, but I am over 20 on TikTok. So, and I like to talk for more than 5 minutes. TikTok is 30 seconds and 20-year-olds. So I have to break through that. So I went to ChatGPT and set up a folder and said, hey, how do I set up the rules to streamline what I want to do? I'm going to drop in the quote. You give me some catchy little phrase. So that you were a personal assistant for some people at one point.
God, yeah.
So it'd be the same thing if I could hire Jenna. I'd be like, hey, Jenna, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to give you a list of quotes. Find me some hashtags, give me a quippy little saying, and then I'll go do the rest. I'll do the video and I'll do the artwork. And that's what I used to do to try to streamline that. And it really helped me get down from 2 minutes and people watching 5 seconds and moving on to, I mean, when I see that thing go past 55 seconds, I start going and editing myself. So that's where AI can be helpful. I know it can replace some people in work, but for the almost hour that we've been here, and if you've never met Scott Sigler, or any of us for that matter, now you got a feel for what's going on. If you go, oh, I want to read a horror book, you know kind of the vibe you're going to get in that book. No matter how many AIs put something out, you won't get the heart that Scott Sigler has. And I know that there's a gamut. So if you go to fiverr.com, and you type in podcast graphics, so many people pop up. And that's like an oversaturation of market. And those people, unfortunately, will lose their gigs to Chat GPT or whatever AI you're using, because what they're pumping out for $5 or $15 in 60 minutes is on par with what chat is doing. But I could tell you, I have my show host partners in the back. We do Wise and Nerdy. We spent 3 months of using AI to help develop the idea of what we wanted our new logo to be, so then we could actually shop it to humans. And we found an amazing human who did it. And nothing replaces being able to talk to somebody on the phone or in chat or whatever, a real person, and say, because I'm the worst, man, I really just kind of feel like it should flow this way. And tell an artist, flow that away. And they're like, what are you talking about? What do you want me to draw? But you get a human who can pull that out of you. I don't think you can replace that with ChatGPT or any of the AIs, really.
Yeah. And another thing that like we haven't spoken on yet is that all of us do a medium where it is our voices that you are hearing, and it is going to live in perpetuity on the internet for as long as the internet is a thing. And I mean, I want that. I want people 100 years from now to be able to pull that audio file and go, wow, they were talking about something really dumb. Interesting. But now it lives on the internet for perpetuity. So AI can take my voice and make me say some stuff that I would never, ever in a million years say a million years down the road. That's terrifying. I don't love that. I don't love that at all.
So I built a brand on, yeah, he probably said it, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, Charles definitely said it.
That's the thing too. You got to build yourself out there more. You got to be louder than the machine. And I'm actually going to ask you how many fans I have. So I'm popping up to see how crazy it goes. But if you're louder than the machine, the best thing that anybody could ever say for you is, nah, that doesn't sound like something they'd say or do. Now, the world who doesn't know you is not going to hear that. The studio execs will cancel you in a heartbeat because they think you said something, or the fans that aren't your fans, the people for 30 seconds will say, Charles McFall was the worst person ever. He said this horrible thing at Dragon Con, and it'll go away. And I might lose a lot of money because of it. And that's where the laws have to catch up. I mean, it is a disruptor, and our choice is guide where it's going or be drugged to where we don't want to go with it. That's what I think.
What's this TikTok thing they keep talking about? It's magic.
And
work.
I don't know. Sorry, we're gonna wrap up. It is that time. Everybody here's got a lot of stuff going on. And actually, I asked it how many fans I had. It does not come up with a number. It just tells you the shows I do. So there you go. ChatGPT is out there. So Scott, we'll start there. Where can they find you all this weekend?
Just look me up on the program or what have you. Scott, it's scottziegler.com. You can also search my name, Scott Ziegler, on any podcast catcher that you listen to and get the vast majority of my work for free. This is Earthcore. This is the first novel I started giving away as a podcast 20 years ago. So I got some cards up here. Any football fans in the house? NFL season coming up. Got Chiefs fan right there. Anybody? Couple.
Recent convert.
And make sure you grab one of this. There's a book on here called The Rookie, which is sci-fi football in the future. You're going to want to grab that. So that's it for me.
We're going to be doing shows tomorrow night and the night after. If you go to McElroy.family, you can buy tickets to those. I hope you will come to them. They're going to be fun. But I will say McElroy.family is also where you can find our podcasts. We're going to be doing a panel in 30 minutes. I hope it's not too far.
Run! You get a chance to do your Q in the Q&A. Bring your Qs, and we will provide the A's.
It's on my back. It's on the badge.
All right, so on your badge, what is your next?
West. That's where it's going to be.
So that's 2 floors up. That be the McElroy. Is that the Q&A, the McElroy family Q&A?
Yes.
Yes. So that's 2 floors up. You can run if you beat them there. It's fun. Alex.
I'm Alex and Birds on the internet. I have my schedule posted there. I will be around here for the most part, but talking a lot of Animorphs, doing some D&D stuff, talking about making podcasts. I got like 9 freaking, all Animorphs is right. Whoever said that over there. Go check them out. So Alex and Birds online. Find me, find my stuff.
Yeah, and I'm at Jenna Chill with one singular L all over the internet, except one very specific place. Don't look it on Google. And you can find me at the YA Lit Track tomorrow morning doing the Animorphs panel, and then here pretty much the rest of the con. That's right. I'm a masochist.
And I'll be floating in and around these rooms and all over the con. A few shows tomorrow night. I'll be with Jenna and Scott beating the other team at Blood Feud,
Yeah.
so we don't have to drink that punishment. And just anything at 10 p.m. on the schedule is usually adults only type of deal. So anything you see that we're on panels on, if it says 10 p.m. or later, is going to be uncensored and crazy.
Totally adult uncensored. Saturday, 11:30 p.m. in this very room is the One for the Junkies panel.
Yep.
Fans are known as junkies. Bring your own beverage. If it's alcoholic, I won't tell your mom. It's going to be totally fine, and that's going to be fun.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to the kickoff. We appreciate you. We got to get the boys upstairs, but everybody else can stand around and talk.